are looking live at sold out MetLife Stadium where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Philadelphia Eagles. And why are the Philadelphia Eagles 0-16? Because they suck. They started the season 10-1. They finished the season 11-6. Because they suck. Philadelphia sucks, and I can't wait for them to lose in the playoffs, folks. Philadelphia sucks. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all is going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Everybody who's going to spend any time watching a replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. Usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. But plus also, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might wind up being, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free and fire away. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below. The top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second membership level I got is called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one has got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. And then finally, also, a little ways down in the description box, there's 2 links, right? The top one's a Facebook link, which I'll go over in just a second. The one just underneath it, I'm an old-time fart, so it's a Twitter link. It's always been Twitter. It's Twitter today. It'll be Twitter tomorrow. 3 trillion years from now, it'll be Twitter. I'm an old-time fart. I hate change. It's Twitter. Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants to call it, that's on you, brother. I'm not calling it that. It's Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back. That's an absolute promise. I try to put Giants-related stuff in there every day, right? And then the link just above it takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's a group, Facebook. We have over 7,600 members in the group. It's doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, if I have internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. And not only do I put stuff in here, members post stuff in here as well, too. So if you become a member, between me and the members, there's a boatload. There's a ton. There's an awful lot of New York Giants information going in this group every day. Please, it's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's a Facebook group. Join it. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All right, but all that stuff said and done and out of the way with. All right, well, I'll tell you what. As the New York Giants turn, well, I've got a lot of things going on. We got finally got a defensive coordinator. Somebody at least brought somebody in anyway. But got offensive line coach. I think we really did good. Really did good with the offensive line coach signing. I think that's a huge one. I tell you what. If you can get a good offensive line coach, I'm almost as thrilled about that as the Giants. As crazy as this might sound, I almost was thrilled to death about quite possibly having a good offensive line, as I almost like winning a freaking Super Bowl. How long have we been talking about Giants got, why the Giants need a tackle? Giants, well, they got to revamp the offense. Well, we need a guard. So, well, do we really? So let's see what this guy can do, right? Because at his disposal, he had a first rounder, he had a third rounder, a fifth rounder, and 2 undrafted free agents. And they were pretty good. So let's see what this guy can do, right? So maybe we don't necessarily need 5 first-rounders. We don't need Evan Neal. Or maybe we'll move him into guard, right? Maybe we don't need Alt at right tackle, Evan Neal at left guard, Andrew Thomas at left tackle, and let's throw a second rounder in there. Put Schmitz in there, and then a third round. Let's put a Zudu in there. So we don't need 3 first-rounders, a second rounder, and a third rounder on the first, to be a functional unit, right? Right? So. Although if we did draft an offensive lineman, I wouldn't be bummed out either. But it's going to be very, very, it's just, so exciting. I hear things about the Bears are moving on from Justin Fields. Other people say maybe they're drafting some, and then they're going to trade Fields, because I mean they're in a no-lose situation right there. That's not even their draft pick. Take the best quarterback in the draft. Let the two battle it out. The best one is the winner. The thing is also you got to figure about because the problem with Fields is that he's going to be he's going to start commanding some money, right? So he's not going to be like trade him. He's on his first year of his rookie contract. Trade him. Somebody's going to get themselves they trade him. They'll get something in return for him and all. If that's what winds up happening. But he's going to start. It's going to be soon. He's going to start commanding some money. So, but it's going to be very interesting. Might the Giants jump? Did the Giants see somebody, right? Which would obviously give at least Daboll anyway. At least a get out of jail free card 2024. Might they jump up? I mean, they were talking about the Bills. I think they said the Bills jumped up 2 times in the draft to get Josh Allen. Right? They're whatever I forgot where they were at, but then they jumped up once, got striking distance, right? And then they went in for the kill, right? So I mean, if the Giants, I'd have a real hard time believing the Giants are going to sit there at number 6 and get the 4th overall quarterback. I don't see that happening. Don't see that happening at all. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, if they want to go that way, then, also does Marvin Harrison Jr. fall that far? Hint, right? Then when they go after a tackle, there's a couple other guys in there as well too. Obviously, as we get closer to the draft, we're going to start going over some of the draft picks and all that and everything. But especially go over like the guys in the top 50, right? Giants got 3 in the top 50, I think 4 in the top 70, 5 in the top 105, or whatever it is. Shane does it right. We can do a little bit of damage here, right? Do a little bit of damage. Not saying the guy maybe the 3rd round pick or the 4th round pick, or whatever, or the 3rd round pick. Might not necessarily be like a plug and play player, right? But she gets some good reps out of him, right? But you kind of like to see if you're drafting 3 guys in the top 50. I mean, you want a couple of them to be playing right away, and it would really be nice if you can get 3 guys who can go in there and battle for starting positions, battling for starters or starting position, whatever. So the Giants can certainly, do some damage here. But I did see. Now, he's got to be careful with this here with Daboll, right? I mean, it's kind of the same thing like with what was going on with Coughlin, right? I mean, he wasn't maybe quite as a madman maybe as Daboll is, but Coughlin was, Coughlin had to be reeled in a little bit, and I think it was the 2007 season. I think it was Strahan went up to him, or some of the other older guys said, Tom, roll him, buddy. Just calm down a little bit. Calm down. Give us a little slack. Yeah, right. We got to meet a little. Wait, we'll go toward you, but you got to come. It got to be a little. Daboll can't be, freaking out at every little. First of all, it's not good for you. But if you start alienating all kinds of people and everything like that, it's it's not real good. Said how Brian Daboll and Wink Martindale relationship blew up. Some people, I don't think they say names here, but it says he's a madman. It took 2 seasons for the tensions to finally bubble over. Giants coordinator Martindale parted ways with the Giants, obviously. Martindale reportedly upset over the firing of his 2 assistants, Kevin and Drew Wilkins. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. I don't. Damn, I'm not going to be able to see it. There was a post I had. Actually, I put it in the group. I mean, shows about like the Giants deep the pass rush win rate, I think it was, or something like that, was not very impressive for the outside linebackers. Not impressive at all. And we were not. great in the run game by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, we can, without question, can do better from the outside linebacker position, without question. I mean, Martindale's getting rid of, he's getting all pissed off that a couple of these guys got fired. Well, I mean, they're not doing a good job. I mean, what do you want? I mean, what do you expect? I mean, come on. But let's see. A large part of their falling out was due to Daboll's hot-tempered game day demeanor, which clashed with Martindale's calm approach on the sidelines, team sources told The Athletic. All right, there we go. On game day, he's a madman. It's just brutal, the source said of Daboll, with another adding, it's to the point where you've got to take your headsets off or take one ear off. It's just constantly screaming. It's like, geez, I can't even think. I mean, you gotta. Martindale, however, wasn't afraid to ruffle feathers away from the sideline. Wink would just walk in to a coach's meeting and say something like, when such and such did this, I stayed calm. I just went on to the next play, the team source said. He'd throw stuff out there and see if he could get Daboll all riled up. That's funny. Dabes knows it. Dabes isn't stupid. It would just float on by in the meeting and nobody would say anything. Daboll was not happy with Martindale's public criticism of Xavier McKinney after the safety complained about communication with the defensive staff following the 30-6 loss against the Raiders. Later that month, rumors of the growing rift between them became public before the November 26 win over the Patriots, when Fox Sports reported Daboll and Martindale were in a bad place, though the team downplayed the notion. The clock was already ticking, however. So, but I mean, he's got to really be careful. Says another one is Brian Daboll's brutal game day demeanor ripped after Martindale spat. Some within the New York Giants organization, including former defensive coordinator Wink Martindale, have reportedly taken issues with head coach Brian Daboll's sideline outbursts over the past 2 seasons. According to Dan Dugan of The Athletic, one team source commented on Daboll's demeanor during games day, saying, on game day, he's a madman. It's just obviously just brutal. Right? One staff member who reportedly stood up to Daboll was Martindale, who served obviously as the defensive coordinator. Martindale cursed out Daboll at a team meeting Monday when he learned that 2 of his top defensive assistants were being fired. Well, that I can't blame. I mean, could have done a heck of a lot better. There were times there it's like, it was almost kind of like, was a couple times, it was like, Kayvon even on the field. I mean, he had shined a couple games, right? And then sometimes it's like, was he in coverage the whole game? Could we have gotten a little more out of Azeez? Has his injuries for the past few years. I mean, the knee. I think he took a knee to the thigh. I think from Kirk Cousins. I mean, did that affect him? Did it still affect him? Is he like a cripple or something? Where is he? As I said, there was it Jihad Ward? I think it was. There was a post. It's in the at the scan down probably quite a ways to find it, but it was a post. Somebody put it in there. The pass rush win rate. Say that 10 times fast. I know I can't. I couldn't even say it once for the time fast. But between Kayvon, Azeez, and I think Hadi, it was like they were like 71st or something and worse. I mean, between the 3 of them, it's like, and he's getting all pissed off that we fired these outside linebacker. Really? Yeah. Really? Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, Wink. When you find yourself a defensive coordinator position, I'm sure you're going to be bringing them in. You're going to bring the Wilkin, the brothers Johnsons in with you, all right? And you can have him. I mean, I think we can do a little bit better than what those guys are doing. I mean, he just, I mean, I don't see that as being, disrespect to Martindale. It's like, you look at where we stink at, right? And, outside linebackers. I mean, Kayvon had some good, double-digit sacks and all that stuff and everything, but I think we could have done a little bit better. So I'm anxious to see, who we're going to bring in. But of course, that'll be the defensive coordinator. Now, they were a Big Blue Kickoff Live. They talked about this for like, my God, I think they talked the whole day. Usually they talk for like, they have the shows for an hour, Monday through Friday, Big Blue Kickoff Live. And usually in the hour, they talk for like 15, 20 minutes and then they field a bunch of phone calls. I don't even know if they took any phone calls. I mean, today they just kept talking and talking and talking. But they were going over. I mean, the thing is like with this defensive coordinator position, I mean, this is like, this is, big. I mean, are they going to run a 3-4? Are they going to bring in a 4-3? Right? Wink was like man to man because he blitzed a lot. Right? Now they were talking about bringing Leslie Frazier in. Well, they were talking yesterday, I think it was, that he's maybe more of a zone kind of guy. Right? Well, if you bring him in, I mean, although, Deonte Banks, we brought him in for like press coverage, right? Probably could succeed in a zone, but I mean, so you bring in a different guy. I mean, it was kind of like, you had Patrick Graham, then he decided to go to, to the Raiders. And then you bring in, Patrick Graham was kind of like more like, let's drop back, right? Keep everything in front of us. We don't give up nothing deep. Let them complete the 6, 7, 8 yard, whatever it is. We rally to the ball, make the tackle, bring them down, and let them dink and dunk their way down the field. Let's see if they can put together a 15-play drive. Usually it's hard to do. So usually somewhere along the line, something, whether a sack will set them back or a penalty or something. He was kind of gambling or hoping or whatever, that something like that would go on, But, so we got a lot of, how you going to use Kayvon? If you bring somebody who maybe goes to a 4-3. And then the other thing is it's kind of like, Daboll's seat wasn't on the hot seat, right? So much this season, but next season is going to be his third season. If he starts having a bad season next year, that seat's going to get a little warm. Okay. Now you can't, you bring in a defensive coordinator who wants you to just like rip up everything. Well, these guys ain't my guys. We need 3 defensive, we'll keep Sexy, but we got a 4-3, right? We'll keep Kayvon, Dexter Lawrence. We got him. So out of the front 7, I got 3 guys. We need 4 more guys in there, right? There's cornerbacks, okay, maybe Banks, but we need another cornerback. We're not signing Xavier McKinney. I don't like those other guys. We need a safety. We need a cornerback. We need 3, 4. We need 4 or 5 guys, for it to be my defense, for us to start succeeding. So, so the Giants going to just like start, ripping everything to shreds. You can't bring everybody in 1 year. It's impossible. Okay, they don't have a boatload of salary cap space, unlike this story I'm going to go over in just a few minutes. But they don't have a ton of salary cap space, right? So if they rip everything up and they start putting some guys doing different things that they're not used to, and you only have like half a defense for the new defensive coordinator, well, the defense might stink, right? So the defense starts stinking, right? Your record's not going to be that good. So can Daboll afford, right, to bring in a defensive coordinator who wants to rip everything up and like maybe start over with a new scheme and everything. And does he think he can hang in there for 2 years or so or whatever without getting fired? A lot of coaches ain't going to be, don't get that long. This is season 3. We're going to want to see some improvement. Year 3, right? So if we're bringing a defensive coordinator, things don't fit. and we start doing bad defensively, his seat's going to really get warm. Really, really get warm. So he's got to be, so it's going to be very, very interesting. Let's see. While Daboll's antics have apparently rubbed some coaches the wrong way, his players reportedly view him favorably. Per Dan Dugan, the Giants players look at Daboll as a player's coach. And one veteran player said Daboll's blow-ups are mostly an accepted part of playing under him, even if they can be counterproductive in situations when emotions are already running high. 48-year-old Daboll was a well-traveled coach before the Giants hired him to be head coach prior to the 2022 season. Daboll has served in many different roles, obviously with the Patriots, right? He was actually a defensive assistant, wide receivers coach, tight ends coach. So he's done a lot. He's been, obviously Alabama, right? Buffalo. So, he's been with some winning organizations and all and everything. It's Sean McDermott brought in Daboll before the second season as the Bills head coach. And Daboll played a significant role in the development of superstar Josh Allen when he was a rookie in 2018. Under Daboll's guidance, Allen went from a raw player with elite tools to one of the consistently best quarterbacks in the entire NFL. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, once again, it's going to be one of those interesting things, right? Because, they see what they can do, right, with Allen. Now, the Giants, they're in striking distance, right? They get themselves a new quarterback. Because I'd have a hard time. I don't know, just my personal feel. I get it aside and all that stuff and everything. But it seems like with Daniel Jones, if we're if we got the weapons, if the offensive line is good, if we got Saquon, if things are really pretty good, I don't want to say perfect, but pretty, offensive lines, gelling. We got some weapons out there. We got a number one wide receiver, maybe say if everything is just almost perfect, right? Daniel Jones could, but you always see some of these, does he see the whole field? Does he look through his progressions? That one guy, was it Witherspoon? Is that the guy's name from Seattle? He was the one who picked the pass off. Excuse me. The Seattle guy picked the pass off, ran it 342 yards back for a touchdown. It was like a 14-point swing. He said, because this is what you do. You look for anything at all that can get the So they're watching film of him, film, and he said after the game, he's like, he stares down his receiver. You can't do that. There's usually 4, if not 5 guys in a pattern. What are you just like? You can almost see it like that. The one, in Seattle. I forgot who he was trying to throw to, but he drops back the pass. It's kind of like, all right, come on, turn around. Okay, all right, it's coming to you, baby. Here you go. Yeah, it was just like, does he like 1, 2, one, you look, obviously, Tom Brady's Tom, I get it, but, the good, the greats, look at Tom Brady, 1, 2, it's like a freaking dance, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, he's just bouncing. Every time he hits, he looks. No. Hits, looks at the next one. He bounces. And as soon as he sees, obviously, not many human beings on the face of the earth can do it. I get it. But he makes that split decision, right? Instant, ball comes out. It's up there, right? Does he look around? Does he see? With some guys, either you got it or you don't. And I kind of wonder, does he really have it? It's kind of it makes you wonder because, when Pat Shurmur was here, he played 12. He started 12 games. He played. You look at the rate. He played in 13 games. Well, I think he had one drive. the game, his rookie season, 2019, I think we lost 742,000 to 1 against the Cowboys in Dallas. So they took Eli out. They put Daniel Jones in for like one drive, I guess it was. I forgot even what happened. I'm sure we probably didn't score any points. But, so he's in 13 games, but he started 12 full games, right? In his 12 games, he threw 24 touchdown passes. Now, he had 715 fumbles, 12 interceptions. I get it. But, he had some passes down the field, right? He had a couple rushing touchdowns. Very, very good. Then of course, unfortunately, that was Shurmur's last season there. Would have been interesting to see if that was Shurmur's first season and Shurmur got him for another season, see what maybe he could have done. Because unfortunately, after that, he had Joe Judge and the clapper, Jason Garrett. And what happened to our offense there is absolutely pathetic. And then, of course, 2020, I'm going to say last season, 2 seasons ago now, I guess 2022, he had 15 touchdown passes, 5 interceptions in the regular season. But, our points per game stunk. Absolutely pathetic, right? So what they were trying to do, I think, with Garrett and with Daboll and all that, was try to get his turnovers down, which happened. But it would have been really interesting to see if Shurmur had him for a second season, maybe what his numbers could have quite possibly been. Because if you look at that rate, right, just say he played in 16 games, right? Because now we're playing 17, right? But I mean, in his rookie season, say he played all 16 games. I'm saying he played in 12 games. 24 touchdown passes, 2 touchdown passes a game. Now you realize, right? He was throwing in his rookie season. Odell Beckham Jr., Jerry Rice, Marvin Harrison, weren't out there running pass patterns for him. Okay. So in his rookie season, right, he was throwing 2 touchdown passes per game, right? This season, in however many games he played, he threw, I think, 2 touchdown passes, right? Now, I get the offensive line was horrible and all and everything, but it really, really would have been interesting to see, what Shurmur could have gotten out of him, had he been there for a second season. But it is what it is. But I'm just saying it's very, very interesting because the one thing that would give Daboll a little bit of time, right, is if they draft a quarterback, right, and then Daboll would probably be like a mad side, be hands on, right? Probably might be calling plays too. All right, because he's like, you know what, my seat's getting hot, my butt's on fire, right? I'm going. I keep saying this, I think, in every video. If the Giants hit the iceberg like the Titanic and we're going down, I'm going down with guns a-blazing. I'm calling the plays, right? It's going to be, we're drafting my quarterback. He's going to be my little, I'm going to be a mad scientist. I'm going to, mold him, right, and everything. So it'd be very interesting to see. As I said, it would certainly give him some time. Give him at least a year. Get out of jail free card without question with a new quarterback. I said it wouldn't make Mr. Mara very happy because I know he loves Daniel Jones. But I mean, if they were to go, somehow, it'd be so difficult because it's like hard to trade. How are you going to trade with the Commanders? Would they even think about, entertaining a trade? I mean, they need a quarterback. I mean, I have a hard time believing they're going to bring a new coach in. And they're going to have Howell is going to be the quarterback that's going to lead them to the promised land. I have a hard time believing that. Whoever takes Belichick's spot, I mean, there ain't no way. Mac Daddy Jones and Zappy, ain't no way. Ain't no way. I mean, they got to take a quarterback. Now, is there somebody that do they want to get that tackle? Do they want to get Marvin Harrison Jr.? And then maybe they think maybe they draft a quarterback maybe in the second round or something like that. Draft a quarterback maybe the mole, but they'll have Harrison Jr. out there running around. Well, maybe, possibly. You don't know. But, I'm saying, but it's like, those two teams need quarterbacks. I keep saying it, and then you keep thinking that, what I hear anyway is that the Bears thinking about maybe moving on from Fields. Now, once again, you don't know. You don't know for sure. But it's going to be awfully hard to move up in front of those. I mean, I don't even know if the Bears would even entertain a trade. They might want their quarterback. Because if you fall back to where the Giants are at, chances are, I don't know any team that's going to want sloppy fourths as far as quarterbacks or sloppy, But, I mean, with the Giants, as I said, what they might wind up doing is they'll set their board up and strange things happen on draft night. Strange thing. You think they're taking this. There ain't no, without question, they're taking this. They're taking a quarterback and then they take a tackle. Or they're taking a quarterback, and they draft one of those wide receivers. So strange things happen. So they're gonna fill out their board, right? And it's like if I forgot the guy's name from LSU, the quarterback, just say he's there. If he's on the board, we're taking him, right? If he's not there, right, then we're taking the tackle. Or if Harrison Jr., we'll take him. We're taking the quarterback from LSU, or we're going Harrison, or not. We're going to take one of the tackles. So you're going to get a stud unless the Giants want to move back, right, and pick up another draft pick or something. That could be huge, right? Move back a few spots or whatever, 4 or 5 spots, still get yourself a nice draft pick and pick up like a second rounder or something from some. I mean, that could, whether it's this year or maybe next year, if you'll get the team's first round pick this year and pick up a second round next year or something. Heck yeah. Right. That way this year we'd have a first and 2 seconds. Next year, maybe we have a first and 2 seconds. You have 6 picks in the first 2 rounds, and you could do some nice damage there. So it'd be very, very interesting to see if the Giants want to, maybe move up, and maybe, draft see if they move and try to grab a quarterback. Because other than that, there's no sense in trading. I don't, with the Cardinals or with the Chargers, because neither one of those teams is taking a quarterback. But that's a couple months off, so I'll have to wind up waiting and seeing. But Daboll's got to be careful. He's got, I understand as far as, getting all mad and pissed off and all that stuff. And I get that. But, he's got to start, being careful not to rub too many people the wrong way. Because, apparently, he's lost, Wink. They butted heads, Now, I say the same thing with Wink. He's got to be careful. I said this too in a video. This is the second time, and they mutually parted ways in 2021 with the Ravens. 2 years later, he's mutually parting ways with the Giants. So he's going to have to be careful too. But Daboll, this is his first coach that he's So this temper has got can have some good things happen to it, but it can also cause some problems as well too. So then I sort of, it's funny. It's like it's the way some people think. It's like I saw an article I did. It was either last night or the night before, whatever. 10 free agents the Giants must resign. And now you got another article, 8 free agents the Giants should not sign. And it's like, I think 1 or 2 of these guys was on both lists. One thing said we should sign Saquon, and somebody said we should stay away from Saquon. It's really, really, really kind of comical. Yet 8 pending free agents the Giants should not resign. Now, of course, the first one here, I think, is Paris Campbell. Oh, no, Adoree Jackson. Yeah, we can't afford, him. I would much rather, if we're gonna go out and splash and bring back one of our guys, I'd rather bring back maybe Xavier McKinney or something like that. But let's see here. This is from Giants Wire. Adoree Jackson played fairly well for the Giants, but the previous regime under Gettleman signed him to such an above-market deal that he'd have to play at an all-pro level for it to have been worth it. Yeah, he's not much of a ball hawk. He's a good player, but also, there were some times in there too. It was just like just watching him. It's like, is he want to tackle? Is he really giving it his all? Is he trying to shy away from some contact here? There's definitely some cornerbacks out there that it's like, no, man, bring the run game on, baby. Let's go. I got a shoulder. I'll lay it into you. Adoree Jackson ain't that. You know what I mean? He's not that. I mean, I'd have a hard time. I don't know what he's going to want, but 15 to 20 million. He's still young, first round pick. I'm sure he's going to want some money. So, I mean, I'd have a hard time thinking about bringing him back. I think he's gone. He's gone. But the interesting thing is, who the Giants going to replace him with, right? The next one they got Paris Campbell. Yeah, I mean, this was just they signed a 1-year prove-it deal worth $4.7 million, and it's like, yeah, you know what? We really can't use this guy. It's like, I mean, are you serious? I mean, you bring in all these guys, all these slot receivers and everything. Jameson Crowder, Sterling Shepard, Wan'Dale Robinson. I mean, Paris Campbell. It's like, right? I mean, it's like there's only one guy in the slot. Why do we have like 9 guys? It's like the only thing I can think of is that, Wan'Dale's coming off of an injury. Sterling Shepard's coming off of an injury. Wan'Dale got injured 2 times last season in 2022. Sterling Shepard's a walking injury, right? Wan'Dale Robinson caught 1 pass for 5 yards against Tennessee. First catch, boom, got injured. Right? Then he got injured against Detroit. So maybe Shane was just trying to overcompensate. I'm saying, so brought some guys in with some speed, right? Crowder's got some, obviously the special teams aspect to him, maybe returning punts. But we signed almost $5 million and basically just flushed it down the toilet. It's like, why don't we be a little better with our, instead of bringing a guy in, signing him, and it's like, yeah, we really can't use the guy. It's like, come on, man. $4.7 million in the toilet. Next time, Joe Shane, you want to do that, just pick the phone. Give me a call. I'll take the 4.7. You can sit me on the sideline. I'll show up every game day. I promise. Right? Give me 4.7 million. I'm good. Right? But gotta be a little bit better with the money. All right, next free agent here. Oh, Matt Parrott. When you take somebody in the 3rd round, you got visions, right, of seeing this guy being a starter, right? Now maybe with the new offensive line coach coming in, right? He's done some magic with the Raiders offensive line with a 1st rounder, a 3rd rounder, a 5th rounder, and 2 undrafted free agents last season. Right? He did some wonders there. So who knows? And the nice thing is that Parrott's familiar with the team and the organization, all that. And I don't want to say he would be some good quality depth. The Giants are going to need a swing tackle, but might that be Tyree Phillips, though? Right? But, I mean, Parrott's been here for 4 years. He's never impressed. He's either injured or when he is on the field, most of the time he's not impressive. The one good thing would be he would come cheap. Right? That he would. Right? You could bring him back and let him battle it out for a position. Hey, man, we'll give you whatever, $2 million a season, whatever. If you want to take it, fine. Right? So you'd be on the roster, right? If you want to battle it out, maybe you can become the swing tackle. If not, we'll throw you in whatever. But for the most part, I'm not overly impressed with Matt Parrott. Even I think Rob Sale even kind of said the same thing. It says here in his article, he wasn't drafted by Shane, so they're likely to let him seek employment elsewhere. But even Rob Sale said the same thing. And I'm going to say about our next guy they're going to talk about too. But Rob Sale was saying, like, some guys they got it. You got to have a little dog in you. You can't be Mr. Happy-go-lucky, Mr. John. Hey, we're gonna run a run block. We're gonna run. Yeah, I'm gonna have to block you. Cool. You have a little, meanness in you, a little mean streak, a little dog in you to be an offensive line. Rob Sale said he really didn't see that with him. The next guy, if they re-sign this guy, they just straight up smoking something. Lemieux. I mean, Shane, I love it. Nice attitude, nice guy. Shane, I'm always injured. Lemieux. I mean, that'd be straight up smoking, hitting the crack pipe heavy if they re-sign this guy. Another Dave Gettleman draft pick that was retained due to the injury spat along the line. Well, he was one of the reasons. He was one of the injuries, right? Shane Lemieux was actually part of the problem there, as he was injured often. No, he was injured almost every day, and played inconsistently. Oh my God, when he was in there, he was absolute trash. Absolute trash. Now, of course, it's hard to get, you need reps. And when you get one rep this year, then you're injured, and you get one rep the next season, and you get injured, and you get one. It's hard to, obviously, I get it. But, I mean, he was absolutely horrible. But you can't make the club in the tub. Your best ability is your availability. And he was never available. Never. Always injured. So then in this article, the one article I read, it was the last night or the night before, the Giants should resign. They said Saquon Barkley. In this article, they said, guys, you should not resign. And they put Saquon Barkley. I mean, you can make arguments either way, right? It all depends upon, Saquon says, just show me some respect, right? Don't disrespect me and stuff like that. But I mean, of course, what Saquon thinks, respect could be like 13, 14 a year. Shane could be like, I got 8 for you. You know what I mean? Can they meet somewhere in the middle? Does Shane want to just franchise tag him and guarantee him $12 million, 12.2 or 12.3? They want to do that? I don't know. So, I mean, you can make cases either way. I would hate to see Saquon go someplace else, but, it might come down to the money, right? There's an old saying when it comes to players who want top dollar after the team has a miserable season. We finished last with you. We can finish last without you, which is true. Saquon Barkley is still a viable player and a top back, but he was injured again this year, costing him games, which raises the red flags. Using the franchise tag on Barkley will cost the Giants around $12.4 million this season. For a team with just $34 to $38 million in available cap space and a ton of needs. Can they afford to dedicate that to a running back with an injury history? Can they dedicate basically 1/3 of their salary cap space to Saquon Barkley? That's a big chunk. Jihad Ward. Yeah, I don't think that's happening. I don't think they're bringing him back. I mean, he was a Wink guy, and Wink's always said, where I'm a coach, Jihad's got a job. So, so wherever Wink winds up going, that's where Hottie might want him going. I mean, Hottie won't cost you a lot of money. He's probably great on the sideline, great team player, great attitude, and all that stuff and everything. But, I mean, you can fill his roster spot with somebody maybe a little younger, somebody who's going to be a little bit cheaper. We can probably draft somebody that was going to play maybe just as good as him. So we'll have to wait and see. But the thing is that, he does have some size to him. Now, as I say, you don't know because Wink's not here anymore. You don't know if he's going to want to come back. It takes two to tango, right? But if we do get a defensive coordinator in here who wants to run a 4-3, Hottie could maybe be a defensive end. He's not the greatest on 3-4 as an edge rusher or anything. But because he does have some size, some weight to him, right? He could possibly be a defensive end. So we'll have to wait and see. But he would come cheaply. He wouldn't, he ain't costing you $5, $7, $8 million a season. So, but once again, it takes two to tango. You don't even know if he even wants to come back. All right, then they got here 2 guys they shouldn't resign. They put Cam Brown and Carter Coughlin. For linebackers, Cam Brown and Carter Coughlin, this decision has already been made. Despite their consistency in production on special teams, the Giants have already informed them that they're moving on from these guys. Now, of course, the thing is with these guys is that, once again, they came with Kmart. When Shane and Daboll came here, these guys were already on the team, right? Now, they do have some good special teams, without question, good on special teams. They wouldn't be expensive. I mean, if you resign Carter Coughlin, he's not. I'm sure he's not asking for $8 million. I mean, it wouldn't cost you much. But apparently, after the season was over with, they did inform Cam Brown and Carter Coughlin, who are liabilities on defense, right? But they're good on special teams. They informed them already that they're not bringing them back. But they better bring in somebody who's just as good. I hope a little bit better than them. Right. But this is the one thing is that the shame of it is that when you have new regimes coming in, they come in and like, these aren't my guys. Yeah. We're going to we got 50 guys on the roster right now. Yeah. Probably going to 35 of them go. So, so you're going to let all these guys go and you're going to bring in other guys that are just about as good as the guys you just let go of. Case in point in hand, right? Was Isaac Yiadom, right? I mean, I think we traded for him, and we let him go. Had him here, let him go, and he's not doing too bad elsewhere, right? Why did we let him go, right? Yeah, we traded a draft pick for him. He's not your guy. So we're just going to let him go, and he goes someplace else, and he doesn't do too bad. It's like, so you bring in somebody else that's just about as good as him. When you had somebody here on it, some of that it just doesn't make much sense. They're not my guys. It's okay. Right? Well, the guy you brought in is just as good as he is. I mean, the guy you let go was okay, but he wasn't your guy. But so the guy you brought in, who is your guy, is just okay. I don't quite, whatever. Okay. But they got, regardless, however you want to look at it, we don't have a boatload of money, right? You still got to sign the draft class. I mean, you look between the draft, especially having a high draft pick and having those 2 second-round picks, the Giants are going to need whatever, 7, 8, whatever for those 3 first picks. We're going to need, I don't know, close to maybe $10 million for the first 5 picks, I guess. The first, the 2 seconds, the third, and the fourth. We're going to need close to maybe $10 million a season, 9, somewhere around there for those guys. So, right, it's going to take up a large chunk of our salary cap, right? All right, then we got here. Giants bring in some guy, finally bringing somebody for the interview candidate for the defensive coordinator job. The Giants have interviewed Baltimore Ravens secondary coach Denard Wilson for the vacant defensive coordinator job. That is the first known interview since the team parted ways with Wink Martindale. Wilson came to the NFL in 2004 when he was signed as an undrafted free agent safety by the Washington Commanders out of Maryland. Well, they were the Washington Redskins back then. Sorry if I offended anybody, but in 2004, they were the Washington Redskins. Wilson made the jump to coaching in 2012 as a defensive quality control coach for the Los Angeles Rams, becoming their defensive backs coach in 2015. He was hired by the New York Jets in 2017 for the same position and also became their passing game coordinator. In 2019, Wilson then coached the Philadelphia Eagles defensive backs in 2021 and 2022 and was their passing game coordinator in 2022 as well. Then in 2023, right, he was with the Ravens. The Ravens have one of the NFL's best pass defenses, giving up some of these metrics and all that stuff. It's just giving up a minus 0.127 EPA per play. I mean, trailing only the Cleveland Browns. The Ravens are also 5th in completion percentage allowed at 60.6%, 5th in interceptions at 18, as well as 3rd in passes defense with 92. 2nd in adjusted yards per pass attempt at 5.2, and 1st in adjusted net yards per pass attempt, 4.1. It's also notable that Wilson spent 2023 in the Ravens system and might allow the Giants to use a similar scheme as well as called by Wink Martindale, which could be huge for the Giants. That should make a transition easier and avoid awkward personnel fits. Yep. Now, Giants to interview Shane Bowen for the defensive coordinator. Per ESPN, Tennessee Titans beat reporter Turin Davenport. The Giants will interview former Tennessee Titans defensive coordinator Shane Bowen for their vacant defensive coordinator job. Bowen became Tennessee's defensive coordinator in 2021. The Titans recently fired head coach Mike Vrabel. Bowen was a defensive assistant for Houston Texans in 2016 and 2017 and joined the Titans as an outside linebacker coach in 2018. So, outside linebacker coach, right? That's good. The Titans were a base 3-4 team as the Giants, as were the Giants. Bowen's Tennessee bio shows his defenses have been stingy against the run, which the Giants have not. Okay, not even freaking close. We got one of the best defensive, in the entire game, right? Sexy Dexy, right? And we're absolutely pathetic. Again, we got a great Bobby Okereke, we got Sexy Dexy up the middle. We're still absolutely horrible against the run. Tennessee blitzed only half as much as the Giants. The Giants blitzed 45% of the time, second most behind only the Vikings. Bowen's team blitzed only 22% of the time. Still, the Titans had 45 sacks this season compared to just 34 for the Giants. Now, if you look here, all right, with Wilson, okay, now he was with the Eagles in 2022, right, when they went to the Super Bowl and with the Ravens. Now, if you look here, I mean, he was their defensive backs coach, okay. Now, in 2021, I think he joined the Eagles and became the defensive back coach or whatever. Their coverage, the Eagles in coverage, they were number 13 overall in coverage. Okay. Now, to be fair, especially in 2022, they did have Bradbury and Slay. So they did have two very good cornerbacks. Okay. So in 2022, when he was the Eagles defensive back coach, right, in coverage anyway, the Eagles were number 5 overall at 89.1. That was their coverage grade. All right. But in 2022, the Ravens were number 13. The coverage grade was a 78. Okay. So Wilson goes from the Eagles to the Ravens in 2023. And the Ravens go from number 13. They grade out according to Pro Football Focus, but with a 78, which still isn't bad. Not bad at all. They graded out a 78. By the way, the Giants in 2022 under Wicks defense, we graded out, we were 30th. We graded out a 68.8. No, I'm sorry. We graded out at a 53 with Wicks defense. Okay. Compared to a 78 for the Ravens. So the Ravens were 13th in 2022. So Wilson goes to the Ravens in 2023, and they go from 13th to 2nd. They were 92.9. Only the Jets, who had a very good, obviously we know, that the Jets were 94.4 coverage grade, right? The Ravens, 92.9. 2nd. Very impressive. Very impressive. So, if we wind up getting him, that may not be bad. It may not be, that may not be bad signing. But once again, right? They're bringing in other guys. It's not like, sometimes you bring somebody in and it's like, don't let the guy leave the building, or he hasn't left the, he's still in the, so, but he did do some impressive things. Now, once again, can he be an overall coordinator? You don't know. We know he can do some good things in the secondary, right? We got Patterson as a defensive line coach, right? Jerome Henderson's got the secondary. Wilson comes in. He's got the secondary as well too. Got Patterson. So may not be bad. May not be bad at all. But once again, we're still looking. But all right, and finally, as seen as the Giants, I don't know. The Giants, it says here, are among the league's best in 2024 offseason capital. Now, this also does include the Giants draft picks. Okay. It's not so much like they have a ton of cap space. All right. The Giants enter the offseason with a multitude of needs that must be addressed and talent gaps that need to narrow in order to compete within the NFC East. Luckily for general manager Joe Schoen, the Giants are relatively healthy in terms of 2024 offseason capital. Pro Football Focus recently evaluated the cap health of all 32 teams as well as their stock ahead of the 2024 NFL Draft and determined the Giants are fifth best in terms of offseason resources. Cool. With a final composite score of 87.1. However they come up with these scores is just simply amazing. The Giants are fifth in the league behind the Commanders, the Bears, the Cardinals, and the Patriots. And by the way, all four of those teams are drafting in front of the Giants, right? The Giants are in the 45.16 percentile when it comes to the salary cap. Yeah, their salary cap is not super spectacular. And 87.1% when it comes to the draft stock. Their prorated percentile is 56.61. I mean, where they come up, some of these metrics and all this stuff is just really freaking crazy. PFF is draft capital weighted at 1.5 times of the effective cap space and probably proratable money weighted at 0.25 of the cap space. The Giants are essentially on the fringe, but still in the green in terms of spendable cash. They're also capable of freeing up some additional money, but probably not as much as General Joe Schoen would like. Nah, I mean, he'd have to kick some money down the road, and he doesn't want to do too much of that. What really separates the Giants is their draft stock. PFF lists just 4 teams with more valuable picks: the Packers, the Bears, the Commanders, and the Cardinals. Giants will enter the 2024 draft with 7 total picks in tow, including 4 in the top 70, but also 5 in the top 105 as well. So basically, they have like almost 5 of the top 100 picks. So you can do some nice damage there. And the NFL sets the 2024 salary cap higher than anticipated. It will help the Giants further, but will do nothing to separate them further from the pack, as it's a level playing field. Yeah, so that obviously the Giants also don't know, what the 2024 salary cap is yet, right? But I mean, if we look here, the Giants, according to Spot Track, that's all I'm going by, they have about $38 million in cap space. Okay, which is not a lot. Now, as I said, now with the $38 million in cap space, now you got some guys that might have hit some incentives. So some of that might be coming off that cap space, right? If the Giants have any, or the Giants have any cap space left over from this season, that goes forwarded there, right? So the Giants can maybe get up to maybe $40 million. And here, now this is set at a cap space, adjusted salary cap space of $248 million, I guess it would be, right? Okay, so, but I mean, if for some reason the salary cap might be $255 million, the Giants will get even a little bit more. I know they can let Mark Lewinsky go and save about $4 or $5 million there. So the Giants could have, they can maybe work on a couple salary, maybe do something with Andrew Thomas's salary, right? Do something with Sexy Dexy's salary, right? Free up another $5-10 million or something like that. I don't know if they'd want to do anything with Daniel Jones's salary, because especially if they think they might want to maybe get out of his contract, unless if they think they just want to roll the dice with him going forward, they can do something with his salary, kick some money going forward, free up another $5 million or something. So I mean, there's ways they can free up a bunch of some money if need be, right? But they don't have a whole ton because they got guys leaving. I said, the draft class is going to cost them probably about, does it say here? Maybe what the draft class is going to cost them here? Yeah, I know it says it here somewhere. But I mean, multi-year person draft, no. But, the draft guys probably cost them $8-9 million, somewhere around there, so I said, so they're not going to have a ton. I said they got guys. I mean, Isaiah Simmons, You trade a 7th-round pick. The guy's a former 1st-round pick. I'm sure you can find something for the guy to do. I mean, I would be shocked if they let him go. Well, he's got to, his salary's up. I mean, his contract, you got to resign him. He's going to want some money. How much you going to want? Yeah, so. I mean, they got to spend some money just to bring some of these guys back. That's without adding anybody, for adding a big free agent or something. They might be able to get like one nice little splash. They might be able to bring in a guard or something like that for whatever, $12 million. Just throwing a number out there. So they'll bring in a guard, right? And they think that Priscilla might be able to work with. Priscilla might come in and say, because he's got actually a couple of his offensive linemen from the Raiders are free agents. He might say, bring in this guy, right? He ain't going to cost you much. The guy can do the job, right? He can do both guard position, maybe give you a center for something or whatever, got flexibility. Bring him in. He won't cost you a lot of money or something, So, we might be able to, bring in a nice little, one guy, a nice little splash, sign somebody to a 2-3 year deal. Give him some money up front. So signing bonus or something, the way you can spread some of that out. So, so his 1st-year cap hit isn't really high. But but they don't have a ton. 2025, the Giants have some cap space. So, especially if they were to move on from, say, Daniel Jones. I mean, as of right now, the Giants only have like 25 or 26 guys signed, I think, for. But with this draft class coming up, they'll add another 7 guys or so to what they got signed. But as of right now, 2025, right, the Giants have, as of right now, according to Spot Track is all I'm going by, the Giants have estimated cap space, $132 million. As I said, that's 132. Once again, they have to sign some draft classes. They got 2 draft classes to sign. So that's going to come. You're going to probably knock 15, 20 million off of that. But I'm saying, if they were to get rid of Daniel Jones, they have $20 million in dead cap money, but they can save themselves about $20 million. So, I mean, they could possibly have, somewhere 160, 70, 80 $million or whatever. And $100 million in cap space in 2025. So there they can do some damage. There they can bring in like 2 real good studs, right? So they have a couple good draft picks, a couple good draft classes in 2024 and 2025, add to the roster, right? And then in 2025, maybe bring in 1 or 2 real good studs, and maybe one on each, maybe bring a good edge rusher in 2025. Right? Somebody who's going to cost you some money, but maybe or get a dog of a wide receiver, throw some money at somebody out there, bring a dog, you know what I mean? They might be able to do that. 1 on each side of the ball, an offensive guy and a defensive guy. Right? Especially if you bring in a dog of a wide receiver, sign him to just say 3 years, right? But whatever. $25 million a season, right? So $75 million, right? But you give a signing bonus. So instead of his first year, is it $25 million? It might only be $15 million, right? And you can do the same thing with the edge rusher. Pay an edge rusher $25 million, give him a signing bonus. Maybe his first year contract, instead of being $25 million, might be $15 million. So you get yourself a dog of a wide receiver and maybe a good edge rusher to go with Kayvon, right? It might only cost you $30 million for two. So there's all kinds of ways, right? All kinds of ways to finagle the money and everything like that. But don't look for the Giants to go too hog wild crazy this offseason as far as bringing all kinds of big, high-priced free agents, because the money's not really there. But as in 2025, we'll have a little bit more. But with the Giants, with that offseason cap, they're in good, good shape and all that. A lot of that is basically what they're talking about. A lot of that has got to do with their draft picks. They got 5 in the top, I think, 105 picks, 4 in the top 70, 3 in the top 50. So that's, I said, those 3 guys in the top 50, they should be like big time contributors, and I said the pick, The fourth pick the Giants have, and even the fifth round, the fifth pick the Giants have, they should be some contributors next season. So if you got 5 guys you can add to the team who can be some contributors, that's huge. I said, then you couple that up with, another 2, 3, 4 guys in the next year's draft class. That's not bad. I said, you sprinkle in a few free agents, and we should be able to compete. I mean, you're rebuilding and competing. We're going to be doing the same thing in 2024, but 2025, we think should be, a little bit better than they have been, especially this past season. All right, guys, it's been 1 hour and 5 minutes of me shooting my mouth off. Whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. Or if anybody spends any time watching the replay, this once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.